is almost a 10. I'm not gonna lie. I was really close.
Really? All right, welcome back to the New Music Podcast. And what we have up first for the week is Magdalena Bay with Imaginal Disc.
Highest rated user score album on Album of the Year so far. It's surprisingly beating out JPEG Mafia by like 3 points. It was at a 90 earlier, but it's going down a little bit, as it should.
Whoa.
This album is terrible.
I thought at first that you actually thought that it should go down, and then I don't believe you on thinking that it's terrible. So what is your actual thought?
This album is fantastic, and it is one of my favorites of the year.
Yeah, I think I agree. And it took me quite a while to. There's so much to say, and I don't know what to say first. So why don't you say something?
This album blew my clean off. It is exactly my bag. Track called Cry For Me. My name is spelled wrong on this album.
Yes.
This is almost a 10. I'm not gonna lie. I was really close.
Really?
It just does everything right. All of the synthesizers are synthesizing in my brain. The vocal tones and everything. It makes my gay Gen Z brain go burr. Much like the Charlie XCX album, but different.
Fair.
Because it's calm. God, I'm just going to rattle off the tracks that I gave a 100 to. Image.
Banger.
Fear, Sex, Vampire in the Corner, Watching TV, Cry For Me, and Angel on a Satellite. And I believe Cry For Me is my favorite, but that could change at any moment between those tracks that I listed off. The only thing I have rated less than a 90 is the fucking interlude. I gave the interlude an 85.
You gave the interlude an 85. That's fair. Not That's My Floor. That's one of my favorites.
That's My Floor. I only give a 90 to.
Interesting.
I know, right? Only a 90. Because,
yeah, that is still kind of a lot.
Oh, I'm actually 2 points lower than the consensus.
Oh, really? Just like on the song or the...
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a 92.
Okay.
Oh, no,
Yeah, okay. For me, let's see. Favorites on here, I actually did like the interlude quite a bit. That's kind of where the album, gets on track for me.
That's My Floor might go up to 100.
Yeah, no, it's such a banger, isn't it?
You know what? I'm going to adjust my score slightly.
Okay. I really liked Image. Image is the one that ends up hitting me the most when I come back to it. Vampire in the Corner was one of my least favorites to start off with, but every time I come back to it, it grows on me. So I kind of see what you mean there. Otherwise, really love Is Everywhere. That was a poorly phrased sentence, but you know what I mean. That's My Floor, and then the closer on here. I like how it wraps back around and brings in the same vocal melodies and some of the same lyrics from the opener. It's like this perfect loop moment, so I thought that was cool.
Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah, it is. Really crazy produced album. Just sounds fantastic inside and out.
Yeah, who produced the album?
It's self-produced.
Oh, it's Micah and Matthew.
Yeah.
Or Mika. That's hilarious, because they have a ballad.
I think it might just be Micah. That might just be like the
That's
difference.
My name. You can't have it.
Well, it's spelled differently, so...
I'm suing you for my name.
You can keep your name, I guess. I'm not sure. I've never heard their names said out loud now that I'm thinking about it. But hey, here we are, nonetheless. Some really good bass and drums across this. Just some of the more digital instrumentation and some of the more raw instrumentation. It all just comes together nicely into this surreal blend. This is such a otherworldly sounding album.
Yes. Surrealist Bullshit, the album. Our favorite.
Yeah. It really did take some time to grow on me, and I feel like my score goes up a little bit every time I hear it. Right when it dropped, I just gave it a really casual listen, and I was like, this is gonna go down a lot. And then it didn't go down a lot for the following days, and I'm like, wait, hold on. Am I the one that's all fucked up? I thought that it was just a lot of people who were really hyped rating it high. And here we are sitting with it as, let's see, number 81 of all time. Number 81 of all time, highest rated album.
Number 81 of all time. Oh my god.
I don't know if I can see it. I don't know. Do you think that that's reasonable at all?
I don't know. Let me go look at the top 100 of all time really quick. Oh, in the 2020s, it says of this decade, it's number 3.
That's really crazy to me. There's a lot of albums that I would put higher.
Three's high. Three's high, but I like it a lot. Oh, Injuries is only at 15. That's a fucking travesty.
That just makes sense, though. That album is insane.
Punisher's only at 17. Why the fuck is the Persona 5 soundtrack above Phoebe Bridgers' Punisher?
I don't know. Maybe it's a really good soundtrack.
No.
That's fair. I don't know, man. I don't think it's even my favorite pop album I've heard this year, though.
That goes to Charlie XCX.
Like, that's the thing. I think I like Brat better.
I apparently like this better than Brat, but I think Brat's at 10 now. I just haven't updated that.
Oh, okay. So you're like right up in that range then.
Yeah. You know what? I'm going to retroactively add Brat to 100 really quick just because it deserves it.
It kind of does, yeah. And I'm trying not to do the thing that I did with Brat, where I was like, I gave it like an 80 something, and then a few months later, I was like, no, actually, I was wrong. This is basically a perfect album. I texted you, and I remember texting you being like, why didn't I give this a 10, actually? This is fantastic. So I feel like I'm going to be late to this one as well, and I can already tell it's just like growing on me a little bit every time I listen to it. So I'm like, ooh, is it just better than I think it is currently? Is this actually how I feel about it? I don't know. There is a lot of music on this one too. It's 53 minutes. I mean, it's kind of a lot to take in.
Yeah, dude. It needs to fucking marinate your brain, Ian.
Yeah, I need to insert the CD into my head a little bit further, I think.
Yeah, I can never tell if they're putting it in or taking it out.
You know, that's a really great question.
Anyways, what'd you score?
Are we moving on to that? Do you have more to say?
No, this album's pretty fucking good.
It is pretty fucking good. I feel like I'm underrating it because I just don't know if it's fully clicked with me, but I will say that just by all the pop standards, it's going pretty hard. I went with an 85 on this for now. That's where I'm at.
I went with a 96.
96? Holy shit. Usually when one of us has the much higher score of the two of us, that person is me.
Yep, and then when it's me, you're just wrong.
Yeah, I am kind of wrong about it, though. That's the thing. And it's weird because I'll have these moments where I really go back and forth with myself. I'll be hearing something and I'm like, oh, wait, this is the best album ever. And then I'll just kind of go back and just kind of drift back in and out of that, where the opposite side is like, I don't know, this is fine. It's so back and forth for me.
Where I'm at with this is I like it just as much as Uboa, but I like it less than Kamasi Washington or Jack Name or Charlie XCX.
Okay, that's fair. But, I mean, I'm glad to see everybody digging it as much as they are. It's just nice to see something this celebrated in music, just every time an album like that comes around. Even if I'm not fully all the way there with y'all, like, it's still fantastic, and I can absolutely recognize that.
No, Shiloh hates you guys.
Well, I only 5% hate you because that's all the lower I am than the user score.
It's okay. I 7% love you.
That's, yeah.
So it cancels out?
Yeah, that'll work. That'll work. That's more love than it is hate, so. I feel like we said a lot without saying a lot, so hopefully any of our thoughts on either end made sense.
We are fried.
Maybe you said more than me. We're both fried.
Mentally.
Yeah,
if it was actually to be a funnier episode.
Probably, yeah. I'm just out of it, and he's cooking in the heat over there with no AC.
It is 90 degrees because my AC broke.
Yeah. So we're a bit off. Hopefully we said anything that made sense there. But let's move on to saying something that makes sense, hopefully, about Romance by Fontaines D.C.
For a GPO and all the hits in it all gone. It's your business if it's momentary blizzards. Change my name to promise you, yeah. Dying inside cause I want you, yeah. Everything you've never even seen. Yeah, it's been a long
I don't know, man. This album cover is scary.
I like the album cover.
It moves around on mobile. Oh, never mind. It's the GIF on desktop too now. It's jiggling.
What?
Like open Apple Music on your phone, and there's like a GIF of the album cover, and it's just the heart jiggling.
Oh, is it? I don't think I saw that. Oh, he do be wiggling. He's wiggling a little bit.
Though.
Did you say it's really good? Is that what you just said?
It's real good. I liked it a lot.
It's real good? Okay.
This is very solid indie rock. Very solid. They're an Irish band, I'm reading, and that's interesting. Did you know Irish people are real?
Yeah, that is interesting. Definitely. Don't see a lot of that. I feel like there's just not that many people who are Irish, though, so.
Death Kink on this album is my favorite track.
Yeah, one of the more aggressive ones, so I like it for that.
I just love the fuzzy little guitar intro, and then just transitions into like just some noisy, fuzzy vibes. I haven't given this album enough time. I wish we had more time in the week. Wish there was like 12 days in the week.
Right, honestly, we need more days, but I really didn't know what to think of this right from the start, and I'm gonna be completely real with you. I like the first 4 tracks.
That's it?
And the first one's more of an intro than anything.
Starburster. That one's good. I get that one a 90.
Starburster is amazing. No, I have a perfect score on Starburster.
I was close to it.
I feel like it was just like far too good of a start
Oh no.
for what ended up following it.
Oh no. You didn't like the album.
Yeah.
It's just good. It's fine. What do you think about In the Modern World? I liked it.
The vocal tone on that is like kind of iffy to me. One of the more like slow nostalgic ones, I guess, which is fine. It's fine. Like I don't dislike anything on here, but it just kind of feels like it's chilling out in this same like kind of sentimental space for a lot of it. It's really not what I expected from them because last time I checked they were a post-punk band, but apparently not anymore.
Now they're Irish. They weren't Irish before.
I don't know what happened while I wasn't looking. Now
Oh.
they turned Irish and indie rock instead of being post-punk. So yeah, I was just kind of caught off guard because I didn't hear any singles going into this either. I don't know, dude. It seems like it's kind of doing paint by numbers indie rock for several tracks, and I was like kind of whatever on that.
This is the Idols album all over again.
Oh, really? What happened there? I can't remember.
Where I liked it a lot more than you did. Similar reasons.
Oh, fair, yeah.
And I expected nothing.
I think that I was expecting the album to be a lot heavier in both of those cases. I didn't come in expecting to like it or dislike it, and I guess I don't really like it or dislike it. I've kind of had the same opinion on Fontaines D.C. every time I've heard them. This is just different.
I'm looking at their albums. They are a blue check band, unfortunately.
Yeah, and give it a few more days. This one probably will be as well.
No.
What are you specifically digging about it? Because, like, I just can't necessarily get it.
I've been listening to a lot of Parquet Courts recently, and so just this specific sound was just like, oh yeah, everything's good. It's all good.
Oh, yeah.
It's just the production was really clean, so it's a nice little change of pace from Parquet Courts sometimes, because they're an older band sometimes. Are they? Am I thinking of the right one? Hold on, let me make sure I'm not fucking crazy. Click on this shit. No, I'm thinking of a different band, but I don't even know. It's just vibes, dude. It's all vibes. It's all just like, it's all indie rock vibes, and it does just a good job.
I guess.
Let me click on a specific track. I gave this one. Starburster was my second favorite, and In the Modern World was my third. Death Kink, and that is their heavier song.
Death Kink, for me, I don't really like what was done with it vocally. It seems like it's really off the rhythm, I guess. The chorus is kind of just more a mashup of words than a chorus. It's like aggressive and whatnot, and it kind of has some more energy to it, so I did like that. But it feels messy, and I don't know if I really dig those big, like, garage rock riffs. It feels really out of place on the album. Maybe outside of it, I would like it a little more.
Yeah, my critique of the album is that it's not a very cohesive album. It's just like a collection of tracks. It feels more like a compilation.
It really does. The flow of it is confusing, to say the least. I mean, the track that I walk away remembering and enjoying the most is Starburster by far, and it sounds like it's from an entirely different body of work.
I'll give it. But I like the collection of tracks.
Yeah.
These 2 or 3 EPs stapled together were pretty good.
Yeah, I have like an EP's worth of tracks that I could be into. Really, if you just took the first 5, I'd be like, oh, this is sweet. In the Modern World's kind of just okay, but I like the rest of these. And then everything past track 4, I'm just kind of like, whatever. I don't know, man. I saw a review, and I'm trying to find it now so that I could credit the person. But just know that this is not an original thought, but someone said that they sound like post-punk Coldplay. And I'm like, that's exactly true.
That's fair, and I kind of liked that.
I don't know, man. I don't really like Coldplay at all, and I guess it's kind of those same vibes.
I've only heard bump, 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 Pompeii, something.
Pompeii, that's just a Bastille song.
Same band.
Something different entirely.
It's the same band.
No, not really.
Convince me otherwise.
Really.
Show me one difference.
Most of it. But no, that Coldplay comparison makes some sense to me because it's kind of like this sentimental semi-pop kind of rock thing going on. I don't know. Any of the more relaxed ones on here, I'm just kind of bored with it, if anything. I can't really get into a lot of how it's written either. It feels like there's some sort of barrier that I'm too stupid to cross. I don't know.
True, you're just not as intelligent as I am.
That makes sense, yeah.
Now, I also listened to this album while absolutely cooked, because DC wasn't working all weekend, found out.
I see. I have listened to it in multiple different states and have not necessarily enjoyed it all that much during any of those states. Driving, I just space out.
Well, maybe you should be dehydrated, sitting at your computer with a fan on you, hoping to God that the heat just takes you finally, and then maybe you'll like it.
You know, in that setting, I think anything would sound good. Anything to keep your mind off it.
You got any more to shit on of my album of the year?
No, I don't really want to shit on it. I'm just a little bit bored and unexcited by it.
You're shitting on my entire hopes and dreams.
All right. Sorry. My bad. This happens every time they drop. If I end up listening to whatever they drop, which has happened 2 or 3 other times, I think, everybody else ends up being pretty impressed, and I end up being entirely underwhelmed. So that is where I'm at once again with this band. I went with a 64 on this.
Oof, oof, oof. I went with an 83.
83. All right. I mean, you're definitely closer to the consensus than I am. It's just going to be one of those things. It's not the band, it's me. Clearly people are digging this. Nonetheless, it's not my thing, and I can't pretend that it is.
Whatever. We'll move on to something that we can agree that's mid. Sabrina Carpenter, Short and Sweet.
So you can't sleep, baby, I know that's that needs to so please don't prove I'm right. Does it happen, baby? Cry 'cause it's over.
It's mid.
Yep, it's mid.
Yep.
It's mid. I have no idea what a Sabrina Carpenter song sounds like.
These 12 sound mid.
Yeah, none of them sound like her own song though. That's what I'm trying to get across here, is that
Yeah.
it either sounds like she's trying to do a Taylor Swift thing or an Ariana Grande thing. There's like a country song on here that I'm like, what the fuck?
The only thing I'm remembering from this album is Espresso. That one was alright.
Yeah, that's the main single from it, and what's really weird is that I heard that outside of the context of the album when it came out, when that single came out. I can't remember why I heard it, but I did. And I gave that one a 50 at the time, because I wasn't really digging it. But then, now that it's on the album, I'm giving it a 70, just because I'm realizing that it does stand out, and it is more catchy than a lot of what she does on here.
True. Yeah, it's just kind of a snoozer.
Yeah.
It's not short and sweet.
It's short-ish.
It's shorter, average and boring.
Average and boring. 36 minutes. That's definitely short for an album, but it's not sweet enough. Or maybe it's too sweet.
It's too mid.
Depends on how you want to look at it.
I don't think I've actually had an album this year where I thought it was like so actual mid, like middle of the pack. Fucking don't give a fuck about it. Don't have anything interesting to say. Let me pull up my comparison albums. The Ski Mask, the Slump God album. I gave that one
Sure.
a mid score too. And the Black Keys album.
Oh, the Black Keys feels like a more valid comparison.
Yeah.
Because that's just a different genre, but the same thing, where it's like, what about this is even you? I don't know.
Okay, and then Future album. Ooh, that one's also in this camp.
Oh, the second one?
No, the Illuminati Hotties album.
Oh yeah, we'll get there though.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if we're gonna say something positive, Good Graces, alright, and Coincidence, alright. Those are the ones that, like, I don't mind hearing those at all. They're fine little pop songs, but the rest of this is like, dude, get your own swag. Fuck.
Yeah, I didn't really fuck with those tracks. I fucked with Espresso a little bit. Please, Please, Please was alright. The opener was whatever. It wasn't the worst thing I've ever heard.
I really don't like the lyrics on the opener.
Yeah, that was super cringe, so it got a 60 because I thought it was funny.
I hate "You'll taste me when he's kissing you." Like, It's very uncomfortable sentiment to me. I don't know why. It's very sticky.
Yeah, it was either going to get a 60 or a 0 from me. There's no in between.
Yeah, I don't like the lyrics across this at all. Every time she swears is really cringe too. Like, just not a person that can swear convincingly.
Oh, Jack Antonoff produced this album, or wrote this album, and produced it. That makes sense.
Yeah, did some writing and producing. It does make sense because it is kind of like what was just happening with, what was her name?
I don't fucking remember. I know who you're talking about, though.
God, shows you how forgettable that album was too. Holy shit, we can't remember her name.
How many weeks ago was it?
Gracie Abrams, and I am now realizing that I gave this the same score as Gracie Abrams completely unintentionally.
That's so funny.
Yeah, no,
No.
I definitely didn't really dig either of these, but I
Yeah.
don't really hate either one, so I don't know. It does kind of feel like just a rehash of what Jack Antonoff's been doing with Taylor Swift at a lot of points, though.
I think I'm less mad at this one because it wasn't so close to the T-Swift drop.
True, but I feel like there's more bad things that I could point out about this one, where there just wasn't anything I could point out one direction or the other with the Gracie Abrams one. With this one, it feels like it's balancing out good and bad, and that one was just mediocre the whole way through.
Yeah, true. I'll give you that. And if you've got good and bad, then your album's mid. If you just have mid, then your album's bad.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think they're pretty much the same because this one has some things where I'm like, you, and some things where I'm like, okay, that's a fun little pop groove.
I immediately take away 5 points if I don't have a single score above 50.
Oh, fair. That makes sense. Yeah. I don't know, man. Is there anything else? I feel like...
Oh, she looks AI generated.
Oh, yeah, that cover is weird.
Yeah, that's a bad angle.
Why is she looking at me like that? Why is there a kiss on her shoulder? Who kisses somebody's shoulder?
Short people. You insensitive dick.
That would mean that it has to be someone shorter than her.
Yeah, there's little people, dickhead.
Okay, but who kisses somebody's shoulders?
Well, are you king shaming people right now, bro? On my Christian podcast?
Yeah, yep, that's me. Totally.
All right, what'd you score it?
54.
51. So we're right there.
Okay. Yeah, you did definitely dislike the Gracie Abrams one more than that, I think.
Yeah, I gave it a 35. Maybe a little overhated by me. Maybe I was hater mode that week.
It's totally fair, honestly. Like, if something's just kind of a rehash of something else, then you might as well just go listen to the thing
Yeah.
that it's ripping, but I don't know. Whatever, dude. So, we're doing things a little bit differently. My sincerest apologies to everyone listening here. While editing this and while recording this, multiple issues came up, so our audio is weird for the rest of the episode. Kind of a little bit on both ends. My audio is a little weird right now. Micah's audio was weird because...
No, it was his. It was on mine. That was fine.
Yeah. There was just background noise. So, like, it was a little sketchy that way. And then something went horrifically wrong in the editing. So, I know y'all haven't seen this because it's not going to make it in. But for our last 3 albums, we kind of did a lightning round, a little shotgunning through all of them. So we're going to redo that as well as doing the lightning round with the other 2 that we reviewed fully, because at this point in time we've had the full conversations. This is the following day we're coming back and doing this, so we're basically just kind of going back through it.
RIP the quality of our reviews because we have not listened to this today.
Yeah, we haven't listened to it today, and we just have like 5 projects here that we want to kind of blast through.
4, right?
Well, 4 and an EP.
Oh,
so
yeah, I forgot.
yeah. So yeah, let's just get into it here. Our first one that we're gonna go through like this is 3 + 5 by Melt Banana. First album in quite some time from noise rock experimental band Melt Banana. I have been a little bit of a fan of them in the past. I have not done a deep dive into their full discography. This isn't something too terribly out of the ordinary for them, so they're kind of just back at it and doing it all again and doing it pretty nice. That's what I thought of it. This was your first experience listening to Melt Banana, correct? I believe that's what we were saying last time.
Yep, and I was not a fan of the vocals. It scared me many years ago. Run away and hide.
Yeah.
But I was informed that that's supposed to be that.
It is. This is scaring the hose music to the absolute maximum.
And I am the hose, and I am scared.
And I am scaring the hose, as per usual. Yeah, it is a vocal tone that is most certainly grating on the surface. There's no way around that. It is very high-pitched. It is very aggressive. What did you say? It sounds like beating a Pokemon to death?
Yeah.
That's what you said, right?
Yep.
Which is awesome. I love that comparison, and I feel like the band would love that comparison, quite frankly.
Good.
Yeah.
Because they must hate Pokemon.
You know, honestly, probably into it. Wouldn't even doubt it for a second.
Most people are.
Yeah, right. Melt Banana is one of the craziest sounding bands. We have a lot of like hardcore punk influence on this, and I feel like normally they get in a little bit more of an electronic and a noise rock space, but I think it's gone more this like hard rock and punk direction with their more recent albums, so it's really in that bag, but sometimes it does get all like spacious and weird and psychedelic and stuff. My favorite track on the album was Case D for that reason. It has a really big section where it gets all crazy, and I loved that. My least favorite track was actually the opening one, Code. It kind of feels the most messy to me. That's the only thing that I had a problem with, and I think that it was kind of a weak start, but thankfully, to me at least, it gets its footing really quickly. How about you? Favorite, least favorite on here?
My favorite ended up being Puzzle because it scared me the most. And I didn't know how to feel, so I just went with the scariest one.
That's fire.
And then, yeah, the opener, if I had to pick, my least favorite, but
Okay.
I just didn't know how to feel about it in general.
Yeah, I think in our recording yesterday, I was saying that you should go back and listen to... Hold on, what's the name of that one?
Fetch, right?
No. I haven't really gotten that accustomed to Fetch. The one that I was saying you should check out is Charlie. So maybe you should do that over the course of the week here and update or something, because this is a band that's pretty hard to approach.
Hell yeah.
The barrier for entry is massive, but once you cross it and once you get a little accustomed, I think Melt Banana is pretty fucking awesome. I went with an 83 on this. What did you end up scoring at?
I went with a 62.
83 and a 62. Okay. Yeah, so then we'll just go ahead and do averages and stuff as we're going along here. This episode's obviously a fucking mess. We're just not going to do the scoreboards at the end. We ended up with a 72.5 on that one, then all things said and done. And the final one that we kind of have like canonically for the podcast was actually an EP. We got Khary and Abhi the Nomad with Icarus.
I hate everything. My room ain't clean. My grass ain't green. I hate washing dishes. I hate when
Shit was really good. I loved Contra.
Contra was the track that you loved the most on this?
Heartily. It was very close. The second one was the track next to it. I hate everything.
Yeah, I Hate Everything is a really close to favorite for me. I think that that's basically a perfect song, and I would say the same about Mobius.
Yeah, Mobius was really close third for me.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to pick favorites. It's all just really good.
It's all good.
Yeah.
Please drop an album together. Thank you very much.
Yeah, the chemistry here is absolutely on point. I know these two have worked together some in the past, but they both kind of get in this pop rap space and chill out in it quite nicely. Personally, to me, I think that Khary really isn't thriving in the environment of Contra, that more aggressive space, but it's still a banger.
I felt like he was doing a solid job stepping out of his normal, like, indie comfort zone.
Yeah, there's that kind of indie rock and bedroom pop influence on some of the production. Leaning a little bit more on that, and I feel like he's been doing that since 2, maybe.
This is weird.
Yeah. Of course. Yeah, I'm liking the direction here. The production's fantastic on this. The rapping's good. Some funny lines, some clever lines, some introspection across the whole thing, and it's just really catchy and nice on the ears. Do we have anything else to say?
Nah, shit's real good. I gave it an 89.
I gave it an 84.
I'm the real Khary fan.
Yeah, yeah. Throw out all those years of listening to him and going to the shows, meeting him and everything. You're the real Khary fan.
Yeah.
Khary's great. Abhi the Nomad, I'm a little less familiar with, but liking what he's doing here.
Also great.
Also great. Yeah. All right. And then we have two projects that we both listen to independently throughout the week.
Oh, we forgot about Illuminati Hotties.
Yeah, no, we'll wrap back around to Illuminati Hotties.
Okay.
Yeah. The one that I personally listened to by myself was a Brazilian artist, I do believe, called Liniker, with her album CAJU. I want to say that's pronounced.
Que tá errado me tratar como se eu fosse uma nota rasa dessa melodia tão vulgar. Se depender.
This one dropped on a Monday, and it's not really obviously in the bag of what we normally review on here, mostly going to be music that's in English. That's just kind of what the audience here, the target audience and stuff, is going to be more familiar with. But this one's getting a little bit of crossover appeal. We did consider just putting it as one of the main albums for the week, but regardless, this is great. This is awesome. Some of the best R&B I've heard this year, absolutely no doubt about that. It is so smooth. It is so nicely produced. If you're looking for some poppier music, this is going to be a little bit out of the range of what you're probably normally hearing if you're one to be listening to this podcast in the first place, but it's so nice sounding. Her voice is great. The production's great. The instrumentals are fantastic on here. There's some long songs that are absolutely magical. Just the way everything sounds on here is fantastic. I don't think that I really have to say much more than that. It just gets a wholehearted recommendation from me. Popstar ends up being my favorite song on here, and then Take Your Time Relax, I want to say is how I should say that, probably ended up being my least favorite, but it's not a bad song at all. I just think as the closing to the album, it's a little underwhelming. So that's about all I got.
All right. What'd you score it?
89.
89. Nice.
Yeah.
The album I ended up listening to was Spirit of the Beehive's 5th studio album, You'll Have to Lose Something.
Yeah.
It's weird, crazy, satanic, cursed, psychedelic indie rock. That's a bunch of descriptors.
Yeah.
I had said that this had kind of felt like a trilogy, but I was wrong. It feels like a sequel to their last album, Entertainment Death.
Very cool.
They're back with the everything is in all caps mode. Fucking absolutely slamming crazy shenanigans throughout the entire fucking album. Every once in a while it feels like the devil is trying to skull fuck me with cursed sounds. And then it's just like, oh no, we're a little teehee, everything's fine. We're a little band, it's okay. Then it goes right back to it.
A sinister aura, perhaps.
Yeah, it's a vibe and a half. And more people should listen to it because it only has 293 ratings and it's sitting at a 71, and that is criminally underrated. I'm at a solid 80 on this right now, but I feel like that could go up over time, especially the more I deep dive on into it.
Hell yeah.
Then our last project that we had to talk about is Illuminati Hotties Power.
What if I just did it?
Shit. Mid.
It's so mid, and we kind of had this on the main canon for the albums this week originally, and then we both listened to it and we're just like, wow, there's really nothing to say about this one. This was your first time listening to Illuminati Hotties, correct?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I'm so sorry to disappoint. The thing is, I heard the album that came out, I want to say 2 years back. No, 3 years back now. Let Me Do One More was the title of that one. And I loved that one. So much energy, so much personality. That one's got some crazy, wacky bangers on it. And this one feels like all of that potential, all of that energy is just zapped away from it, just in an instant. And it's just really standard sounding, indie rock pop music.
It's coming to a local area shop, Walmart probably.
Maybe.
Played at Walmart.
I don't even know if it's that accessible though.
I can't remember it. I forgot it completely.
This one's just really hard to get a solid grasp on because musically it's just not doing much. Can you hear me now?
I don't have anything to say about this album.
Yeah, okay. Well, I went with a 50 on this one personally. I'm entirely indifferent.
I went with a 48 because of my rule. If your whole album is mid, your album is bad.
That's totally fair, yeah. I think that it has some moments that are okay. My favorite on here ended up being Didn't. I think the song there with Cave Town is alright.
Yeah, I was the same way.
Yeah. If I were to pick a least favorite, I have Throw Life Draft on here, but I think you could pretty much pick any of them and be just fine as well. Unfortunately, mid is all we really have to say for that one. But messy episode, crazy episode. Again, we're sorry things just got all fucked at the end here, but we'll be coming back at you next week. I know we have a new album from Nails coming out. That's super hype. We have a new album from Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds, kind of a major moment. So we'll have a lot to talk about next week, and everything will be back on track. Unfortunately, just had a little bit of a misstep here. With all that being said, you can subscribe to the channel for more music-related content and more episodes of this podcast coming your way. Drop a like on the video and share it around with some friends. That would be greatly appreciated by the both of us. We appreciate your support. Micah, do you have anything to say to the people before we get on out of here?
MC Baconhair dropped the album of the year, and it's criminally underrated.
That's pretty wholesome, and we'll see you next time.